There it is. Hello, everyone. My name is Blake Hagler. I appreciate you joining us today on this webinar. We're going to be talking about a few things with 3 myths of hackers most people do not know about, or people think are true and maybe they're not, or they think they're true and maybe they go in more depth. So without further ado, this is about a 15 to 20 minute presentation. We will have QA afterwards, and let's go ahead and get started. Give me just a second, because I also like to keep the chat window open in case anybody wants to throw a chat in there. I want to make sure we have that availability and option for everybody. Okay. So, make sure you can see my screen. There it is, and share. Here we go. Everybody good? Yep. Okay, okay, good. I got a few chats there. 3 myths. Well, the tricky thing is that while you may be a very small business compared with massive public companies, you still are vulnerable to hackers. And a lot of people think that they're not at risk. Very tiny hack could potentially shut down your entire business. Now, a lot of people think, oh, that's a myth. A little hack won't do that. Think about all these municipalities lately. They have been getting hit left and right on attacks, and it's just because they're not preparing for them. They're not ready for them, and they're bigger companies. You know, some of them do prep for them, and they still get hacked. So the thought there is why are they getting hit if they did prep for them? They most likely didn't prep in the right way, or they didn't prep for specific attacks. It's very important to make sure you prep for all the necessary attacks that may be coming your way. So I've created, to resolve this problem, a hacker's risk assessment kit. This will help for you to assess your company. It doesn't have to be us, by the way. You know, everybody's like, oh, another sales pitch. This is not a sales pitch. This is truly to help you and your company. You can use this. We're giving it to you. If you already have internal IT, pass it to them. And if they would like assistance on it, I would prefer you to connect with us. But if you can't, or if you don't, let me know why you couldn't, and I'll see why my staff was not able to assist you. Almost all IT folk actually minimize the importance of cybersecurity. We are security first company, so it's not about minimizing, it's about making sure that you understand the risk and the risk that you're actually taking. The myths, and putting these simple myths to rest, is a baseline for a future of protection and prevention for all companies. So knowledge goes back to knowledge is power. This is very important, to know your enemy, to know what's going on, but to have somebody on your side that knows what's going on and can help that battle front, that create that wall of security. We partner with only the best security providers and use government-grade prevention practices to ensure you are not only protected, but your staff is trained and recognize any threats that may be coming through. Now, this is really important to note the certifications that we carry as well as the compliances that we carry. We do everything in our power to make sure that you guys stay safe. And with that being said, my name is Blake Hagler. I do own Hagler Systems. Currently located in North Carolina. We are a cybersecurity first company. So what that means is when we do provide IT services, communications, and security, just because security is on the end of that tagline does not mean it's the last thing we think about. We actually think about it first. So when we go into the products and into vetting vendors, looking out for the customers, we are looking out for you guys and making sure we're asking those security questions first to prevent any of those questions having to be brought up in the future. Along with that is the information and the knowledge base that we provide in these videos. We always do these videos every month, and the purpose of it is to keep our clients informed as well as anybody that comes on the webinar with us. And we're very pleased to have guests. Remember the old age, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The largest problem we run into is the business owners fall into 3 myths we review over and about, and then do not prevent. They do nothing to prevent that hack. We go over everything. We say, okay, here's your issues. Here's where you see this, and people don't do anything. It's really a struggle when we see that, because here we give you this information. You are really at risk, and you have the larger companies. Yes, they're putting things in place. Yes, they're getting hacked. You have the smaller companies. Most of the smaller companies are buying their time, crossing their fingers. Applications do not care who they're attacking. And why I say applications instead of hackers, because hackers aren't physically trying to do the work like you see a landscaper. They're out there, they're in the field, you see them, they're making it happen. That's not what happens with hackers. Hackers create applications that only look for vulnerabilities. They don't care if you're a big company, they don't care if you're a small company, they do not care. You are at risk. So that's why I'm going to help. That's why I'm here today, to pass everybody that came here on this webinar the assistance of providing you with the Hackers Prevention Kit that we created. It's going to go over everything that you need. It is going to go over the information. Here's a checklist. This checklist is free to you guys. Pass it to your IT staff if you have it. Ask them, hey, do we have these things in place? Ask your CTO. Ask your owner. If you're the owner, ask your staff. It does not matter. Make sure that this checklist is covered. And this checklist also has a grading point. That way you can see where you stand on a grade scale with cybersecurity. If you click on the link and you sign up for this webinar or any of our future webinars this month, it's October, Cybersecurity Month 2019. If you sign up for them, we are going to, we'll do the assessment for free. So you're going to get this, everybody that's on this webinar today gets this assessment free. But if you go to the next webinar, tell your friends, tell the other customers that tell your customers, tell your vendors, anybody that may need this, their risk is also your risk. And here's why. If they have a vulnerability and they come into your location, they have your contact information. And then your contact information from their vulnerability is spread back to you, your company, and now your company's being targeted and attacked. So it's very important to not only be aware of your security, but also make sure that the security of your vendors and your customers are up to date. I'm not saying pressure them, but truly be knowledgeable of where they're at. Ask them, especially vendors. Assessment tool. We just went over that. Policies. Make sure you have policies in place that correspond with your employees. Not only employees, practices. Yeah, the policy on what you're doing for security, the policy on what you're doing for your day-to-day. All of those are very important. Something else to be mindful of is your network. The network will always be your main point of entry. There are other ways of entering, the USB, but most of the time the network is where it's at. We want to make sure that that's secured. Training your staff is very important. When looking at the vulnerabilities or knowing what's going on within your company, and you train your staff to look out for these unique things as well, it only reinforces your company's stability on being able to protect against these threats. So facts, myths. Number one myth is a lot of companies think they're too small. They're not big enough to be worried about. That's myth number one. With large companies, yes, they're being attacked. But just like I said earlier, it's not about the hacker trying to attack a specific company. Hackers are using applications, and applications are just looking for those vulnerabilities, those small individual things. Number two myth. My business is not a target to hackers. It goes right along with, I'm sorry, this was part of number one myth. And that's going on with the small businesses and the medium-sized business, as well as some larger businesses. They think we have security in line and it's safe. Never think that you're done with security. Things change. I recommend looking at it every quarter, making sure, doing at least one assessment every quarter, saying, okay, do we still have everything in place that we need? Number two myth, will never happen to me. This is probably, we probably get this more than number one, where a lot of people think, they say, I'm not a target, but I think that's because we meet with more people and that think they're possibly a target, but it'll never happen. They have that mindset. The main thing to understand here is that being a small business owner, not to have that false sense of security. The number one issue I see in this area is that owners have been busy doing the business thing and not keeping up with technology, not keeping up with the changes. Over 10 years ago, having some type of antivirus and getting patches done once in a while was enough. Nobody cared. It was plenty. You didn't have this massive amount of an army trying to infiltrate your system. Having some type of network, like adding or protection, like adding in a firewall, and it seemed like you were protected for everything at that point. And if you had to, you could always get stuff back from a tape or the night before backup. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that mindset and that related technology should be in museums, not in your business. The truth of the vulnerabilities that the patches set out to fix are often targeted before the patches are released. The old model of antivirus is nearly 100% effective at stopping new threats, and that the firewall is available at a big box store like Best Buy, Office Depot. It is insufficient at best. And that tape or hard drive or whatever it might be, swapping out at time to time is only a disaster itself waiting to happen. Let's go. Hold on. I went through too fast. All right, I talk more than I click. Sorry, guys. So 85% of hacking victims are small business. This is going right to the I won't ever get hacked. Not me. I'm too small. It's not true. You have a huge concern to have. And I can't stress it enough. I cannot stress it enough. So hackers, this is an example. Most people think hackers are in here clicking away, and on the other side of that computer is one business, a single business, which that's not necessarily true. What those hackers have done is they're using servers, massive servers like AWS, like Google servers, like Amazon servers, like Microsoft servers, servers that you as a business can rent, and then they're putting their applications on there using those massive amounts of resources to throw across the entire board, casting this wide net to capture any and all data that may be vulnerable. And there are some websites I'll be happy to share with everybody when we do our assessment. I don't like to give those websites out on these webinars, only because we do make these webinars public for reviewing afterwards, and we don't want to give more fuel to the fire, in a good way of saying it. I don't want to pass the black hat hackers information that they may not already have, but I will be happy to share this information with people that I'm sitting in front of and I feel comfortable with. Myth number 3. I don't have any stuff hackers would really want to steal. If you don't use a computer, you're on the wrong webinar. If you don't use anything technical, you should not even be on this webinar. There is no reason to be on this webinar if you use nothing technical. Now, if you do use something technical, the next question I want to ask is why? Because if you do, when you answer the question why, most likely you're about to answer what is valuable on that computer, whether it's contacts, whether it's your finances or your business processes. Anything you've ever used that computer for has some type of value. Username, passwords, anything, everything. If you've used it for some reason, and it was valuable enough for you to buy a computer to do so. So therefore, it's valuable enough for a hacker to steal and sell. While you may think you have nothing hackers would find valuable, that doesn't matter to the hacker. The truth is that there's always some buried treasure, someone who you know, or something you know that gets left in your computer somewhere, and it makes for that target. So when you're thinking of this, think originally, why did I have computers? In your business, why do you have 200 computers in your business if you have nothing of value for the hackers to steal, to take, to hack into? There is always something because there is always some reason you have that computer. Then we get the thing, well, it still never happened to me. You know, this is key because people must assume that hackers is a single criminal in a basement somewhere attempting to personally attack them. When in reality, hackers, virus, malware, and all of the other bad stuff know zero boundaries and equally attack everybody across the entire internet, regardless of who they are or how big they are, how small they are. The worst part about it is that hackers can scan in mass scale, which makes it extremely effective and easy for them to find vulnerabilities within your company. Now I know what you're thinking. It's still never going to happen to me. Even if you think it'll never happen to you, it's good to know your own risk. It's good to know your own, knowledge is power. It's good to know what you're going to have to deal with if it does happen to you. But if you're thinking it won't, still know your risk. Risks are very important. That way, at least you can see on a scale where you're at and what you need to be mindful of. So to do that, here is what we are offering. We are offering the Hackers Kit, Risk Assessment Kit for free. You can download it from you can download it from the link, or you can it will be mailed to you. The replay will have this. So if you're if you're just joining us for a replay and you were not able to attend the actual webinar, you still have this option. We will still provide you the Hackers Assessment Kit. You will also receive an additional time for just basic consulting if you choose, at no cost to you. This is what we're offering for you guys right now. Now, everybody that is on this webinar and has joined the other webinars that we have in the future, you'll also get another free product, and I'm going to go over that at the end of this. Right now, when you get hacked versus when you get hacked, if you get hacked. Honestly, I don't know how much longer we'll keep this Hackers Assessment Kit available for free businesses, or for free, because it is consistently changing the platform. But I want you to be mindful. It's available now, and it's going to be available during the reviews. When you get hacked versus if you get hacked, the difference is when you get hacked, it's already too late. They've already gotten everything. It is more of a cost to businesses to recover from that hack than it is to prevent from that hack. And give me just 1 second, because I lost my notes and I'm trying to remember why I threw this in these slides. Yep, I should have made better notes. My apologies. The basic segment of this is after you get hacked, the hackers already have everything they need, so it's too late. Not only do they have your information, but think about your employees, your contacts, your vendors, your customers. They get everything. Not too long ago in Texas, 22 municipalities got hit, and it was all because of one company, one single vendor that they all had in common, and it branched out and hit all 22 municipalities. That was a huge thing. Where if you get hacked, stands that they have that presence of not yet being hacked. You can prevent from it. You can keep that from happening. You have the power to keep your business in operation, opposed to being hacked and it shutting down your entire business. It is way cheaper to prevent than to react. So it's very important to have a strategy. Part of that strategy is doing an assessment. It's very important to have a team. My team is always standing by, and we are ready to help. Now, the thing about this is we only have a certain size of team. Our team is only a certain size. So I can't take more than a certain amount of assessments per week. Right now we have 5 available. Now 5 spots available for those assessments, and we'll come out to your location. We'll do the assessment. It doesn't take long. It takes about 30 minutes. It's a 15-step process. We run through them very quickly. We show you the results, and then we can discuss them if you choose, or we can discuss them with your current IT team. It's one thing to always note, if you have a current IT team, and I press this on my own clients, even with us, I want to know how good we're doing, how my team's doing, how us as an IT competitor, how we are. And I stress to my own clients, find somebody that's a legitimate testing company, a legitimate security company, to also test us and let us know. Now, I'm not saying to do this behind your IT company's back if you currently have an IT company, or if you currently have an IT staff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying collaborate with them. I ask my clients, allow me to join in so we may better ourselves to better your company as well. If they find anything, let's discuss it. Let's find out what they found and how they found it. What did they go through? This only helps build on both sides. And when you do these assessments, it will not only enforce, but it will reinforce the understanding of your company is at a safer place. I get to talking and I forget where I'm at and everything. Hang with me real quick. So this is the assessment. We'll be happy to come out, download it, give it to people. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do an assessment. The assessment is most critical and most important. I really appreciate everybody today. And there's one other thing that I want to let everybody know right before we go into QA is this month, anybody that is on the actual webinars, they will be getting a $3,200 value into a dark web scan and also report. So what we'll do is our company will actually pay for the scan itself, and we will share it with we're able to do certain amount of scans, pretty much unlimited amount of scans. Now, most companies, what they do is they buy this product, and they're able to do the dark web scans on their company. When that's it, right? They just paid this larger sum, and they go out here, they scan their company, and they're done. We're offering it for you Only the people that are on the webinar. So if you're doing a replay, my apologies. Watch one of our other other webinars. We have 2 more this month. The number one, the last one being very important, is take control of your IT. But if you are on any of these webinars, we're giving this to you free. We'll scan your company, we'll scan your emails, we'll see if any of them have ever been sold across the dark web. We'll also check to see if it is out there to be sold. It's a great value. I hope everyone takes advantage of it. You know, we don't do this very often. Why? Because it costs us. You know, and that's also why other companies don't do it very often either. It costs them. We're offering it to you for free. Take advantage of it. All right, I'm going to open the floor for any QAs. Does anybody have any questions on this, on what we spoke about, or anything else? I promise I will not put you on blast where everybody sees or hears or sees you. We have a question. What's the biggest threat you see affecting small businesses? So I'm gonna, when I do QA, I like people to see me. I'm gonna take this screen off. That way you can see me here. All right. The biggest threat that we see nowadays is ransomware. A lot of the municipalities, even our own city, Mecklenburg, not our city, our county, Mecklenburg County got hit. We weren't able to submit plans. We had jobs that we were trying to do, as well as other engineers and architects. Nobody was able to submit any jobs. The entire municipality got shut down. And what's even worse is they wouldn't pay the ransom. So that means they didn't come back up very quickly. They ended up, I think it's a 3-month span before they completely got back up and running. I know it was an entire month before we could submit any plans, and then even then there were other internal applications and departments that had to run certain things on our plans that just were not back up and running. So 3 months of downtime on a huge municipality like that is pretty big. Ransomware will do that. Some of the ransomware is the big one. Everybody's concerned about ransomware. Now, that's not really the threat, though. It is a threat, but the big threat is thinking that it won't happen to you. Yeah, that's the big threat, because if you think that way, you are the prime target for these people. And we want to try to shut that down. In 2021, it is estimated that the cyber criminal industry, it has an industry, is going to be to $6 trillion. I have morals. $6 trillion is a lot, but it's not enough to break my morals. But that industry is going to be huge for a lot of people that it is for, that will break their morals for that cash flow and making that money. Hackers are already making millions because they can't be caught on certain things. They're able to hide their tracks. It is very difficult for any of them to for any of us to be able to track them down. Government's doing what they can, but there are certain things that makes tracking and catching those hackers very difficult. So they have an open window of just revenue, stealing your stuff, selling it, or ransomware where they shut down your system until you pay and they bring it back up for you. Are there any other questions? All right, we'll stay on the line for just a little bit more, just to make sure there's no other questions. And I'm usually what I do is while we're waiting for questions, I'll just start talking. We do have next Thursday, we have another webinar for, let me check just to make sure that I'm saying the right one. Is it smishing? I thought that was, check it out. Safe social media webinar. This is really nice. Oh, we do have another question. I'll jump right back on that. So the other question is, where do you get your information from? So we have 3 companies that primarily we work for. It's nationwide. They inform us of information that's going on with cybersecurity, with most recent updates, vulnerabilities. Microsoft also passes that information on a lot. Your regular Forbes business, they'll pass stuff along. The private companies, though, they usually have the information a lot quicker. They're searching for it, and also that's what they're selling. I mean, that's why we purchase their products, and that's why we constantly stay intact with them. That's why we pay them. We pay them to fuel us that information. So next week, next Thursday, we have a webinar on social media and the safety of social media. We have a guest speaker. And that guest speaker, I want to make sure that I say it correct, is going to be Karen. Give me just a second. I'm going to find her last name for us. Is going to be Karen Clow, and her company is PP Wix Website Services. They do a lot of SEOs. They do a lot of social media marketing. They are up to date on the security aspects of how to properly post, what to look out for, and that's one of the reasons I've asked them to join our station, our channel today, so they can give us that information on helping tell our customers and our viewers what they can do to keep a lookout on that. And I really appreciate her willing to do this for us. So, all right, any other questions? Nope. That 20-minute webinar turned into a 40-minute webinar. My apologies. It is set for an hour, but most of the time I do try to keep it under 20 minutes just because it is business hours and everybody, I understand, has things that they got to go and do. If you don't have any other questions at this time, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and call it a good webinar. The recording will be online at, make sure what website we're going to have it at before I tell everybody. Oh, the same website that you signed up for. So if you signed up for this and you want to watch the webinar, or in the replay, it is 3myths.haglersystems.com. The number 3, the word myths.haglersystems.com. If you do have any questions or you want to contact my staff, 704-298-1414, or you can email us directly, info@haglersystems.com, or my own private email, blake@haglersystems.com. If you have any questions or you need anything, please reach out. All right. Thank you all for joining. And let me check the questions one more time. Looks good. Y'all have a wonderful day.